Remember, the next episode after this is already up live and available to watch now by over 4,500 incredible fans on the world's largest and highest earning anime and manga Patreon in the world. The links are in the pinned comment and description. See you there. Huh? What are you saying, Mom? What do you mean Goten's been missing for a week? Why wouldn't you tell me sooner? So our story continues with the aftermath of Goten's sudden disappearance. Of course, summoned abruptly by Vegito himself, but to the Z-Fighters of Earth, they would be none the wiser. And the saddest and most emotional of all would be Chi-Chi herself. The mother left bawling her eyes out, revealing this truth finally to Gohan, as the Ox King, her father, would try his best to keep things under control, with her wailing, "He just vanished, Gohan. 1 minute he was here, and the next he was gone. It felt like a nightmare. Not even your father would ever leave like that. Not even a wave goodbye. I'm starting to think someone abducted him." While the Ox King would just rub her back, saying fatherly, There, Chi-Chi. You know how these boys are. They take after Goku. I'm sure he'll be back soon. The boy's a Super Saiyan. He can defend himself fine. But anyway, Gohan's here now. He'll find him easy." But for some reason, Chi-Chi wouldn't have that much faith, as with her tears still running down, she would mutter, "Oh, Dad, Gohan can't do anything anymore. He's busy with his own child now. His own handful. These kids grow up so fast and leave their poor mama alone. All alone." Chi-Chi, I'm literally right here, honey. Mom! But despite the comedic disregarding of her own father, Gohan's face would quickly take on a serious stance, continuing with a stare right at Chi-Chi. "This is Goten we're talking about, not one of our pets. My little brother. He comes before anything. Videl can handle Pan just fine. I'm bringing Goten home. I'm bringing him home now." And with that declaration said, Gohan would swiftly, without any more conversation, begin walking out the door, grabbing the entrance, just with one final word letting out, "Tomorrow. You can expect Goten back home by tomorrow." Gohan? Leaving his mother stunned, having not seen her oldest son with such conviction for years now, her tears beginning to dry up as even she starts to believe in his promises. As just like that, Gohan would set off, blasting off into the sky as if he were in a rush, flying through the clouds at jet-like speeds, as he would begin thinking to himself, "Goten, where did you go, buddy? This isn't like you. I know you didn't like studying, neither did I. But would you really run away? Or did someone take you? Maybe they confused you with Dad. Huh? What is that?" But as Gohan's cunning mind would compute hundreds of different scenarios and ideas for his younger brother's disappearance, all concentration would break when the scholarly Saiyan would sense something fast approaching, as behind Gohan's white aura, almost like a heat-seeking missile, a blue beam of energy would be giving chase. This attack, isn't it? But at the very last moment, Gohan would show he still had some of his old charm and skill, as by the skin of his teeth, he would dodge the beam entirely at the last second. There's no doubt about it. It is what I think it is. Leaving Gohan to watch as the blast would travel past him until... ultimately, it would lead to a gigantic explosion behind on the surface of Earth, with even Gohan impressed, thinking introspectively, that was Dad's technique, but that was way stronger than I thought it'd be. Whoever this is, they're no joke. As cautiously turning his head around 90 degrees. It's a kid! How does he know that move? As when we'd finally get a view of this mysterious assailant, what would be on show would be an all-new hooded figure, his hand still smoking away, but in the position of the turtle wave, aka the Kamehameha wave, not saying a word as Gohan would mutter, Who are you? How do you know that move? Wait, are you the one who took Goten? Answer me! As full of rage, bringing back the angst of his Team Gohan form, Gohan would immediately rush in at the silent warrior. Launching a punch first, but whoever this was, they would seemingly read Gohan like a book, dodging immediately to the side. But Gohan would just not let up. Taught to never quit by his father Goku, he would launch a barrage more of punches, but they too would be dodged with complete ease until... With a perfect counter, the hooded short figure would just smack Gohan under the chin with a rising kick. But like a rabid dog, Gohan would just blast back for more, not satisfied. I'm going to get my answers, whether you like it or not! Rushing in closer and closer before... His punch this time wouldn't just be dodged, but left to attack thin air, as the figure would have enough speed to vanish away completely and... It would seem launch a perfect counter again, as in the next panel, Gohan would be left speechless and vibrating in pain as his glasses would be forced off from the movement alone. How is he so strong for this size? As once more, Gohan would be taken aback by how this Krillin-sized fighter would pack in so much power. Eventually getting him some more space. As still in pain, Gohan would let out, I've got to admit, if you're the one responsible for Goten vanishing, then I can see how you'd be able to handle him. But you're wrong if you think his older brother would be the same! As suddenly, Gohan's hair would go blonde, his eyes an emerald green, as electricity would summon all around him and... With a brutal Saiyan roar, Son Gohan would stop playing games, exploding into a golden aura as he would transform into his signature Super Saiyan 2 form. And in a literal flash, Gohan would already be right in front of the hooded boy, his Super Saiyan powered fist pulled back ready to kill when... What? In a completely unfeasible reaction, the figure would not dodge this time, but stop the attack entirely, and with his palm only. Alright, I think that's enough. You're going to hurt me if you try too hard, Gohan. As a familiar, light-hearted voice would then begin chuckling, as unbelievably, faint glimmers of the same golden aura that coated Gohan would now begin flashing all over this young man until... soon, his whole body would have that same yellow aura soaring, completely identical to Gohan's. Whoa! Who is this guy? He's a Super Saiyan! Sorry for worrying you, Gohan, but I'm fine. As finally revealed from the hood and clothing blasting off from the power-up, a Super Saiyan Goten would be revealed, alive and well, and unfathomably, stopping his own older brother's full-powered fist like it were nothing. As carefree, the young boy would just ask, "So, how's Pan? She okay?" Goten! But understandably, Gohan would be in no mood for updates on his little girl, as just staring into Goten's eyes, he would ask himself, "It is you! Where have you been? And how? How did you get so strong?" I guess I do have some explaining to do. As just like that, Goten would let go of Gohan's fist and separate backwards for some distance, the two Super Saiyans looking on at each other. It's a long story, I guess, but maybe not so long for you. I've been away for a week here on Earth, but I've actually been somewhere else training really hard. Somewhere where time moves faster, apparently. I'm older now too. Have you noticed? What? Somewhere where time moves faster? That means... You mean you've been training in the hyperbolic time chamber? So this whole time, you've been at Kami's lookout. Why wouldn't Mr. Popo tell me? As naively, Gohan would immediately jump to conclusions. No. Hyperbolic what now? I was training in some kind of weird pyramid with Dad. Huh? Dad was with you too? As immediately, having not seen his own father for a long time either, nor known where he was, the reveal of Goten and Goku being together this entire time would shell-shock the warrior. Yes, Gohan, Dad's back. Long time no see, my firstborn. Huh? Who said that? As suddenly a mysterious voice would begin speaking from behind and with familiarity, leading to Gohan first turning his head around abruptly. But once he would see who it was, he would immediately turn his whole body 180 and instantly get into fighting stance, commanding, "Tell me who you are! You're not Dad, so why the hell does Goten think you are? What have you done to my little brother?" Oh, Gohan, I haven't seen you this ready since our own time together in the hyperbolic time chamber. As of course, revealing himself would be Omni Vegito, his appearance completely foreign to Gohan, however, since in this multiverse, Vegito never needed to appear against Boo. As the Omni King would continue, "I hope you've been training enough to at least remember how to do this, kid. But drop the bravado for a second and sense my key signature. You'll recognize who I am from that alone." Oh, no way! This energy, it is Dad's energy! And Vegeta's too! What's going on? As immediately, Gohan would do exactly as asked and be shocked from the result, with more questions now than answers. The three Saiyans stood in silence as this reunion would be the most confusing ever for Gohan. But eventually, time would pass and all would be explained, with Vegito finishing. And so, that's what's been happening. I'm a fusion of Goku and Vegeta. I'm still your dad, but I'm onto bigger and better things that will save billions, trillions even, and not just the Earth. And you're going to join me one day. One day when Pan can take care of herself and you've completed your duty as a father. I know deep in your heart this is something you'd love to do, Saiyan man. So I already know your answer. And indeed, Gohan smiling back in base, would respond, You know me so well, Dad. Giving up the chance to protect 12 universes, let alone the people of Earth. I couldn't live with myself if I ever skipped that. I'll be there, I promise. And with that said, Omni Vegito would then open a portal, his son following along with him, as he would say in finality, That's my boy. I knew you'd make the right decision. But either way, you'll be able to come back whenever you want. It'll be like you never left in the first place. Goten and I too. Nothing's going to change, but just how we do it. I'll be home for dinner with Goten in a few days. See you then, son. And with that said, Omni Vegito, the part-time father, would wave a final goodbye as he and Goten would enter the portal, leaving Earth once more before it would vanish. Leaving Gohan now alone in the middle of nowhere, left alone with his thoughts thinking, Wow, my dad, the Omni King, the supreme ruler of the multiverse. I can't believe it, but there's no one we could place our safety in better than Dad. Yeah, I can't believe it either, Gohan. Huh? As yet again, Gohan would be interrupted by a voice from behind, but this time from up above, as standing on the branch of a tree, a lone green figure would be seen, his cape flowing in the wind. As it would be revealed to be none other than Piccolo, his arms folded and with a serious expression, letting out, I heard everything, Gohan. He's putting a lot of responsibility in your hands. I'm surprised you were so quick to agree. Are you sure you can handle this? Dende and Kami are a part of me. With their knowledge, I could easily do the job for you. I have no family, but you do. But Gohan would place his hands on his hips and just adamantly respond, What? You don't think I could do it, Mr. Piccolo? I've been burdened with responsibility my whole life, but every time I've had Dad or Vegeta to thank for saving me when things got too tough. This time, I'll be the one helping them. He's going to be busy. I know what they're like. But as Grand Priest, I'm going to be able to pay them back and make sure nothing bad ever happens to anyone ever again. As optimistic as ever. I guess you aren't the little kid I trained all those years ago anymore. As giving off a proud smile, Piccolo would then jump off the tree, landing beside Gohan placing a hand on his shoulder as he would continue. To be honest, I'd be worried if it was Goku making decisions. So when the time comes, I'm certain you'll be a much safer bet for us all. I believe in you, but I'm your master whether you're the Grand Priest or not. And your training isn't over until I say it is. I'm coming with you wherever you go. Vegito will just have to find a job for me too. And so time would pass, and just as Vegito had promised, everyone would still enjoy family time. Nobody would be abandoned no matter what post they had been given, as would be treated to images of Vegito and Goten enjoying picnics with Chi-Chi and her father, while even Trunks and Bulma would get their own alone time with the Omni King. Albeit annoying for Bulma, as even while she'd be trying to enjoy a family meal, Vegito couldn't help but train his young son. And finally, after some years would pass, near enough 2 decades, we would see Pan's wedding day, the day she would be passed on to her husband, with a proud Gohan standing beside Videl, Hercule, Trunks and Goten, and of course, even Omni Vegito, wishing the happy couple a long and beautiful marriage. And so with his duty finished, sometime later, standing before the Omni King's palace, Zycor, Piccolo, Vegito, Gohan and Goten would stand admiring at its excellence. But peering down the line, Gohan would spot the unfamiliar face saying, I was going to say something earlier, but is that the other son you told me about? He looks older than Goten, but I thought he's supposed to be 8 years younger. What gives, Dad? Nice to meet you too, half-brother. But a smiling Vegito would just answer, Look, it's a long story, involving a lot of training in the Pyramid of Power. He's aged years in the matter of days and various points. Forget about that though. As of today, we've all gone past such mortal curiosities. As lifting his arm up, Vegito would immediately begin summoning something up in front, much to the hesitation of Piccolo behind. As suddenly, out in front, a strange symbol would appear, coated in Saiyan energy. The mark of the angel would appear for the first time in the Dragon Ball Super series. As turning his head around, he would address Gohan. Come, Gohan! Your new life awaits. Through this gate lie the trials of the Grand Priests. Complete it, or should I say survive it, and you will officially take your new role. Good luck, kid. Don't have to tell me twice, Dad. As confidently, Gohan would just strut forward as if he had been dreaming of this moment this entire time. But Piccolo behind would yell, Gohan, wait! I'm coming! Leading to Piccolo starting to walk forward also until... Stop right there, Green Man! As soon as Piccolo would begin moving, in that instant, Vegito would grip his shoulder tightly, bringing him to a stop, letting out, You need to give up the second father act, Piccolo. He's not a little boy anymore. He can handle himself. You have your own mission to do, seeing as you came here uninvited. What is that? As now right in front on the other side, another symbol would appear, this time red, and this time the mark of the dragon. As with a conniving smirk, Omni Vegito would then reveal, your goal now will be to become a god of your own, the Dragon God Piccolo, and the new creator of the Super Dragon Balls. What? Super Dragon Balls? As with a stunned look, never having expected this at all, Piccolo would be graced with the greatest of offers for any Namekian ever. And it wouldn't be long that in the presence of Omni Vegito, Piccolo would just agree, as both Gohan and Piccolo would then be seen entering their respective portals, only to return once they had succeeded and attained godhood. I really wonder how strong Gohan is going to be when he gets out. The way you make it sound, he'll be back stronger than even me. I've been training for ages. As Vegito would reply, everyone knows Gohan is a special kid. His potential is through the roof, so don't be surprised if he is. The role of the Grand Priest is to be above the 5 anyway, so let's just hope he lives up to the name. Before Vegito's face would then turn more sinister, and his grin would widen as he would reveal, but as for you two, you're not going to be sitting on your butts until they're back. You two have got some work to do. You need to go find the rest of the 5. And lucky for you, I know exactly who to start with. As unbelievably, of all the first fighters to begin recruiting in this multiverse, Jiren would be the first to be visited, as in an iconic scene, face to face with a Saiyan. It wouldn't be Goku Jiren was staring at this time, but Goten instead, with the youngest son smiling confidently saying, so, you're Jiren the Grey. I can see why they call you Grey, but not quite sure why Dad says you're the strongest in this universe. How about you show me how accurate that really is? But seeming uninterested, Jiren would just respond, stand aside, warrior. I have no interest in civilians. Only justice is what I seek. My master taught me better than to pick on the weak. The weak, huh? Guess he'll have no problem with you fighting me then. The strongest in the multiverse! As immediately, this older Goten would then transform into his Super Saiyan Blue form. This key, is he a god? As with Jiren's impressive instinct, he would immediately realize Goten was no ordinary foe. Fine, I will accept your challenge, strange warrior. Eventually getting into his own fighting stance and preparing for a fated battle. And almost immediately, unlike his father, Goten would come in straight away with full strength, having his first rush blocked instantly. Jiren's first punch then expertly ducked under, but only for Goten to then make a second movement to the side, and in his palm, a concentration of extreme energy already generated. ultimately tossing it at point blank at Jiren, but the Pride Trooper would instantly bat it away like it were nothing. Opting to retaliate with another punch, but it would just be too slow for the fifth. Okay, I see what Dad was getting at now. You're impressive, Jiren. As Jiren would look back replying, I shall take that as a compliment. After you must bring me this father of yours. To which a smiling Goten would just respond, oh, you're going to meet him real soon. Don't worry about that, buddy. Their feet instantly then making another move. Flying head-on at each other, now covered in their auras. Jiren! Warrior! And reminiscent of another timeline and multiverse, the Saiyan and Pride Trooper would fly towards each other to find truly who reigns supreme. But Goten would not be the only one facing a giant behemoth of a man, as we would rejoin Zycor, who would stand on a strange yellow planet with a certain Saiyan in front. So, apparently you're a lost Saiyan from my father's era? I don't see how that automatically makes you strong, but I guess we'll see. Come with me, Broly. With Broly quickly turning his head in confusion, wondering how this stranger would know his name. But ultimately, would just continue back looking down, eating. As he would slowly then raise his eyes up again and make brief eye contact until... He's fast! Zycor would notice the Saiyan had vanished immediately, in a single frame before... instantly appearing on top of Zycor like a meteor and already fully transformed. Broly would say hello by launching a devastating fist straight onto Zycor's cheek, sending the son of Vegito off for a vicious impact in the distance. Okay, father was right then. But the godly warrior, though scathed, would just as quickly return. But so too would Broly, clenching both his hands together behind his head, resulting in another catastrophic collision on the surface of the yellow planet. Now you're just showing off! But that too would be escaped by Zycor. He would reply by reappearing behind the legendary warrior with a beam powered up. The result being a gigantic explosion that would rip through the barren landscape, ultimately leaving a giant crater in the ground as smoke would trail off from the center. But neither would be down. Instead, both grinning, the Saiyans bonding through battle like their ancestors of old. They would now be ready for a true test of each other's power. Now where is he? The Oracle Fish said a beast fit for the 5 strongest would be here. But back with Omni Vegito, he too would now be on a mission, standing in the middle of a deserted village all alone, looking around thinking, this is strange. I should be able to sense something at least. What is this planet? It seems to be hiding key signatures. As behind Vegito, while his back would still be turned, a foot would come forward. And a mysterious warrior would come into view, still creeping forward until... You can hide your key signature, but not the sound of your footsteps, friend. Good to finally meet you. I've heard a lot about your hidden powers. Come with me to take them to a whole new level. Daima! As unbelievably after all this time, all these years, the warrior known as Gaiba from Jin's universe would be seen once more in this new multiverse to take his seat at the table of the 5 strongest of Omni Vegito's multiverse. Just what is this crazy Saiyan going to do with this ragtag team though? Find out in the next exciting episode of UV. But that was it for today's video, guys, and if you made it this far, leave me a hashtag #new5 in the comments down below and let me know just what the Omni King's next act will be. Or just find out what happens right now on my Patreon, where you can see the full next video, fully voice acted, soundtracked, and edited for you to enjoy with over 4,500 plus other fans, as well as getting access to 250 plus other fan mangas too. It's the deal of the century.